We've discussed why sea salt and pink salt are trash, complete garbage, and why you need to throw them away. If you haven't seen those videos, the links are in the description. So it's enough of what we shouldn't be doing, and let's get into what we should be doing. And this is not going to be based on politically backed science, not trends, not how anyone feels, but based on real science, not pseudoscience or what has become almost a cult or religious in a sense in today's world, but a science that's based on fundamentals and truth. And we're going to put this confusion to rest for good. Let's go ahead and hop right in. Best type of salt is table salt, specifically Morton iodized salt, not Morton iodized sea salt because it has bromine, which will compete with iodine, but regular iodized salt. Sodium is good for your muscle contractions, for your heart, which is a muscle. So it beats properly how cells communicate, send electrical flow, many different things, fluid balance. All these things we need from sodium. Chlorine, or in the form of a salt, a chloride, is how you produce hydrochloric acid. What do you need that for? You need that for digestion. Without that, you'll be malnourished. You're going to have constipation, indigestion. It also helps with, like sodium, fluid balance, cell communication, nerve health. It is extremely important. Iodine is essential to produce thyroid hormones like T3, T4. These help with the digestion of all 5 food groups: proteins, starches, sugars, oils, and fats. It supports a healthy heart rate, energy level, and body temperature regulation. In the early 20th century, many people were having a cognitive decline and goiters. So there was a global iodization of salt to get rid of that problem. Many people, even today, don't get the proper amounts of iodine, even though it has been supplied by iodized salt. But we, as usual, as humans, tend to make things more complicated than they have to be. Myself included still at times. The iodization of salt in the US started in the 1920s in northern USA, as it was known as the goiter belt, because so many people had thyroid issues in those areas. And as a result, many companies added iodine to their salt. Morton salt added it as well. And the process, people might say, well, it's man-made. Okay, and it goes through a process. But doesn't most of your food, if you eat dried fruit, it goes through a process. If you eat meat, it goes through a process. The animal has to be killed. It has to be cleaned. It has to be defeathered. You have to take the skin off, the fur. You have to remove the organs. You have to do all these things. With vegetables, they have to be harvested. They have to be cut up. They have to be heated, steamed, stir-fried, whatever. Almost everything you eat goes through some form of a process. So this is not a new concept. Natural doesn't automatically make something good. Sea salt is terrible because it has bromine, which is going to give your thyroid even more issue. Please fact check me on this. And I know I say this in all my videos, but please fact check me on this. And I'm saying this because a lot of us are not doing the research. We just listen to people and we get stirred in the wrong direction, and it becomes very hard to get ourselves in the right direction. So make a habit of doing proper research, listening to people, taking it as data, and then verifying it for yourself. How is Morton iodized salt made? They pump a lot of water into where there is rock salt, and they make a concentrated brine. Then they take this and then they add certain minerals to it that cause the other impurities in it to clump up and sink to the bottom. Then they vacuum evaporate it so that way it leaves behind, it takes out the water and leaves behind nothing but the salt. Then they add dextrose to it. People are leery of additives, but dextrose is in corn, it is in grapes, it's in figs, it is in dates, it is in wheat, it is in many different things, honey, it is in a lot of different things that we eat. Okay, so if you eat any of those things, you're consuming dextrose. Why do they add it? They add it because they need to make sure that the iodine does not evaporate. They need it to stay in the salt, so that's why they do that. And then the last thing they add is calcium silicate, which makes up maybe about 1/5% of the actual composition of the salt. This is so that way it does not clump together from moisture. Before, people used to have salt shakers and they would have to put rice in there to stop it from clumping up. The calcium silicate is added so that way it is an anti-caking agent. That's it. That is it. It has no bromine. It has no heavy metals. I think that's a much better compromise. So salt is super important. It's good for all of your nerves need it. Your vagus nerve, auditory nerve, sciatic nerve, optic nerve. All these need salt. Every muscle needs them. This is why people who avoid salt have muscle pain, Hashimoto's, they're always tired. This is why. They need iodides from salt. What is this? What is the form of iodide that they're putting in the salt? Potassium iodide. It is a salt, potassium iodide. And that is so needed for all of your cells. Please fact check me. And one other thing. Have you noticed a difference in price of these salts? Let's take a look. So not only is Morton iodized salt better, but it is much more affordable. So that is going to be the end of my salt series. If you liked this video and you understood it, you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you haven't already subscribe, turn on your notifications so you get updated when I drop another video. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Let's have a mature, fact-based discussion, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.